What's up, family? This your boy WiseDuality, aka JoBar, Eliezer, Qandu. God adds to the one who encourages. I can do anything because my Father is with me. That's what JoBar, Eliezer, Qandu stands for. A name that I given to myself, among other names. But today's word of the day was confession, or confess. And I read from Romans 10:9 through 10 on the Message translation. I had to speed through it and I didn't read the whole thing, so I'm going to read it from here. The earlier revelation was intended simply to get us ready for the Messiah, who then puts everything right for those who trust him to do it. Moses wrote that anyone who insists on using the law code to live right before God soon discovers it's not so easy, every detail of life regulated by fine print. But trusting God to shape the right living in us is a different story. No precarious climb to the heaven to recruit the Messiah, no dangerous descent into hell to rescue the Messiah. So what exactly was Moses saying? The word that saves is right here, as near as the tongue in your mouth, as close as the heart in your chest. It's the word of faith that welcomes God to go to work and set things right for us. This is the core of our preaching. Say the welcoming word to God. Jesus is my master. Embracing, body and soul, God's work of doing in us what he did in raising Jesus from the dead. That's it. You're not doing anything. You're simply calling out to God, trusting him to do it for you. That's salvation. With your whole being, you embrace God, setting things right, and then you say it right out loud. God has set everything right between him and me. Say it out loud. God has set everything right between him and me. Confess and believe. You're not doing anything. You're simply calling out to God, trusting him to do it for you. Trusting him to do God, be God. Faith in his faithfulness. That's the word of the day. That's the thoughts of the day. And that's a plan for salvation. That's a plan to get your mind right. That's the first step. Finding freedom. Finding peace. So, thus far we had stop fighting with yourself, within yourself, with those around you. Stop fighting the changes and the forces or the calling on your life. Which leads to stillness, being still, and knowing that there is a God. And he has a plan. And that plan to reconcile us to himself has been fulfilled in Jesus, which was mentioned back in Genesis. So what did Jesus teach us? We know what he did for us, but what did he teach us? That the only thing that is important in this life is to love God and love those around, everyone around you, strangers, loved ones, relatives. that we're all interconnected, we're all one. That freedom does exist, rest does exist. Actually, I think burden was going to be the next word of the day, actually, you know, because I spoke on that, I believe, yesterday on the weight of the soul, you know, purifying the spirit, taking that, the weight of darkness, the weight of sin off of ourselves when we come back into alignment with the spirit, when we change our hearts and our minds. There was a post earlier on YouTube that I was looking at, and it was esoteric teaching about vibrations and some other stuff. And there was a comment, and in the comment they were saying like, why is this teaching not being taught? And it's a good thing that it's not, because some people will use it for in the wrong ways. But the type of teaching was, raising your vibrations, your heart, being in harmony with spirit, and aligning the chakras and all of these things. And and transcending, astral planing pretty much in the different worlds and all that. So I'm not getting into all of that. But these levels are obtainable, and you can't obtain you can't obtain these levels with negativity. There's no way. You know what I'm saying? You can't, even if your search is, even if you go down that path, you will not come back. You won't make. If you have evil intent setting down this path, that will change. There's no way that you can achieve the levels that you want to achieve and have evil, wickedness, negativity in your heart and in your mind, because you will never reach the levels. It would just be a facade. That's it. And the person that replied pretty much said the same thing. It's like, there's no way that you can even obtain this without being in harmony with everything and everyone. You know what I mean? So yeah, don't let people fool you when they say they're on a path of enlightenment and all of this and all of that, and they have intentions to harm or have deceit of malice somewhere underlying their agenda. It just can't. It can't be. It can't be. It's impossible. It's impossible. So, with that being said, those are the thoughts of the day. Those are some of the things that came across my path today, my energy that resonated with me. That 70-year sentence is ridiculous. How do you give somebody 70 years for a simple assault misdemeanor? Because the person is law enforcement. So when law enforcement step out of line, shouldn't they get double that because they know better? And I'm not an advocate for anybody being in prison, incarcerated, because there's no room for human nature in this society And I know a lot of people were, on the Roland Martin show, they were all happy and all of that, that she stood up for herself and all of that, but she's going to be the one charged with assault for defending herself, even though she acted in a physical way. And what the woman did was a simple assault. It wasn't, it was physical because believe me, if it was the other way around, that black woman would be charged with a felony for that spit. But then she turned it into a violent assault. So what happens now? Her life is going to be interrupted because of somebody else's negativity that she fed into, and she's going to suffer more consequences than the actual perpetrator, the one who actually incited it. And that's what happens a lot in this society, where people incite violence, become victims of violence, and now they are the victim. They did nothing wrong. They get to walk away free and become, state's witness, or, part of the prosecution to condemn human nature. But we're going to get into that too, because, scripture, there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing happened in this world that has not happened. There's nothing that scripture has not addressed for humanity. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. He who is without sin cast the first stone. And not one stone should be thrown. Where's the love? Where is the love? Humanity, my brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter which color you are. If you are a believer, then you believe that all life came from one man, right? So we're all blood in one way or another, right? And if we ain't, I want to know how it's not possible, because we still connected spiritually. We all have the breath of life. There is no other breath of life besides the one. Just societal norms of control. People that want to be in power. Since the rise of psychological behavior, the study of that, everything changed. Once people understood how other people think, how the brain works, and how to manipulate. Everything is ran off of social, psychological programming from before we are even born. And we must break free from that. And that only happens when you take the time to journey within and take that journey to know who you are, where you came from, and why you're here, and where you're going, and what your purpose is while you're here. What are you supposed to be doing? That's it. Everything else is a distraction, irrelevant, useless, dung. It doesn't really matter. It really doesn't. But love does. Peace does. Joy does. Unity does. So that's the thought of today. April 15th, 2023. Much love. Let's get naked. I want to hear some comments. I want to get some feedback. I want to have a conversation with you guys. So that's probably going to happen tomorrow, more than likely around 2 o'clock. I'm going to attempt to go live, and I want to have a conversation so we can really get deep, you know, because otherwise I'll just start babbling and rambling because I have no real agenda except for to plant seeds, spark minds, to bring back the love to turn to God, to bring love back within self, and to bring one as a whole in society, to heal this world, to heal the planet, to heal the country, to heal your neighborhood, to heal your family, to heal you. It all starts there with one person. So let's do this. Let's get naked. Peace.